I'd like to call the governing board meeting for the Liberty Elementary School District to order today, May 2nd, 2023, at the Jerry Roby District Facility. We have all board members present: Board Member Parks, Board Member Aguirre, Board Member Bixler, Board Member Kenyon, and myself, Michael Todd. Our next item of business is item 1.2, the Pledge of Allegiance. Board Member Kenyon, can you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is 2.1, our consent agenda. I'll take a motion in a second if there's nothing.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Parks. When I call your name, please specify your vote. Board Member Parks.
Aye.
Board Member Aguirre.
Yes.
Board Member Bixler.
Aye.
Board Member Kenyon.
Aye.
I'm also an aye. We will show that approved 5 yes, 0 no. Next item on our agenda will be item 3.1, an update on the search process and timeline from GR Recruiting regarding our interim slash potential permanent superintendent search.
Good evening, President Todd and members of the governing board. I'm Tom Williams. I'm one of the consultants that work with GR Recruiting. First, I just want to say thank you for having confidence in our firm to do your superintendent search. We posted the position early April, end of March, and it closed on April 21st. Tonight, the board will review applicants that we have vetted that we're bringing for your review. Those candidates will be reviewed in closed session, executive session. And that is a standard procedure. Most of the candidates, all of the candidates expect their private and personal information and recommendations to be reviewed in closed executive session. So that's why we're doing it tonight in executive session. The board, if they wish, may select several candidates to come forward for next week. We're looking at May 9, 10, and 11 to schedule interviews with the top candidates. And then after that, after those interviews, the board may select 2 or 3 to come back for face-to-face interviews the week of May 15th. So again, that standard procedure is to interview candidates in executive session. They want that, they expect that, they don't necessarily want their employers to know that they're looking at other positions. So it's to their benefit to do that. Like I said, the final interviews may be held the week of May 15th. So we'll be talking about some of those things. Also, we'll be talking about questions that the board want to use next week and the following week. So that's a quick update, and I look forward to getting into the next phase of this. So thank you.
Thank you, members. Any questions?
I had a question.
Please
You
go
had
ahead.
mentioned that the interviews were going to be done in executive session.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand why.
That's normal procedure, and candidates expect them to be done in closed session or executive session.
Because I don't believe that the interviews for your all's company for us to do this was actually an executive session. And also the prior interim superintendent search and permanent superintendent search we did, those interviews were in open session.
Interviews are typically done in confidential or executive session. I have no knowledge of any that I've ever been involved with that have been done in open session.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, sir. Our next item of business is item 3.2. It's a possible action to convene an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A1 for discussion or consideration of applicants for the position of interim superintendent/superintendent. Members, if I may also point you to item 3.3, and it'll be the board's pleasure if you want to do both of these motions at the same time, or we would do one and then come back and do 3.3. But 3.3 is the action to convene an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 for discussion or consultation for legal advice with the governing board's attorney regarding the interim superintendent/superintendent search process and related matters. However you guys would like to proceed with the motion, we can do them both at the same time or one at a time.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to convene an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A1 for discussion or consideration of applicants for the positions of interim superintendent/superintendent, and also 3.3, item 3.3, to convene at the same time or following that, the executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 for discussion or consideration for legal advice with the governing board's attorney regarding the interim superintendent slash superintendent search process and related matters.
I'll second 3.2 and 3.3.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for both 3.2 and 3.3. Both are executive sessions. When I call your name, please specify your vote. Board Member Parks,
Aye.
Board Member Aguirre,
Yes.
Board Member Bixler,
Aye.
Board Member Kenyon.
Aye.
I'm also an aye. We will show that both 3.2 and 3.3 have been approved. 5 yeses, 0 nos, and we will now convene to executive session at 5:37 p.m. show that at 5:50 PM, the Liberty School Board Governing Board is back in session. In general session, our next topic is 4.1, adjournment of the meeting.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
A motion, do I have a second?
Mr. President, do we have to address 3435?
Well, 3.4, no, because there's no action from it. And 3.5, there will be no action based off what
Thank
took
you,
place.
Mr. President. I'll second 4.1.
Hang on one second, let me look at this. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any action that needs to be taken for those.
Thank you.
Do all board members concur? Okay, hearing no
Yes.
objection, call for your vote. Board Member Parks?
Aye.
Board Member Aguirre?
Yes.
Board Member Bixler?
Aye.
Board Member Kenyon?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. We will show that the adjournment approved 5 yes, 0 no. Meeting is adjourned.